Welcome in. It's From the Bleachers, the podcast. Brought to you by the Fan Sports Network.
Welcome in, everybody. It's From the Bleachers, the podcast, here with the Fan Sports Network. Caden Formaster here and Paul Ratliff. We have a guest with us today. It's Olivia Hamlin. Olivia, how's it going?
Doing good. How are you guys?
Great.
Doing great. It's
Not as good as you, though.
it's been a day for you, hasn't it?
Yes, it's been super fun today. Really busy, and yeah, I'm just enjoying it.
Well, first off, you've made your decision where you're going to go play some college basketball. Mm-hmm. Tell everyone where you're going to go.
I'm going to the University of Nebraska.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Awesome.
That's exciting stuff. Going to go play some Big Ten basketball, right?
Yes.
Are you excited for the prospect of that? Just playing against some of that really good competition.
Yes. So that's always been one of my goals, was to play in like a Power 5 school against some really awesome competition. And so now I'm here, and now I'm ready to play for Nebraska, and so I'm excited to play against these really awesome teams.
Absolutely. And you'll be playing for Coach Amy Williams, and just doing a little back study on her. She's gone to the tournament 3 times. She was a Naismith National Coach of the Year, semifinalist in 2018, Big Ten Coach of the Year. So you're obviously going to have some great guidance there.
Oh, yes. I think that's one of the reasons why I committed, because she seems awesome, and she knows like what she's doing and stuff. So yeah, I like her a lot. So
tell me about that decision-making process. Like, why Nebraska, of all places?
So I chose Nebraska because I thought it fit me really well. And first off, I visited there first on an unofficial, and I absolutely loved the coaches. And I was like, these coaches, I could totally see these coaches coaching me. And that's one of the reasons. Also, I met the girls on my official visit there, and I loved them, and they were so awesome to me. And then their facilities, I fell in love with the campus too, but mostly I wanted to play against good competition in college and a Power 5 school. So I'm excited for that, and that's mostly why I committed, because I thought the school was a good fit for me.
And they're devoted fans. They have one of the longest sellout streaks in all of college football.
Yes.
They fill out that thing every week. You're going to have great support from the fans. What did the fan base, the GBR, they call them, what is that GBR, that acronym? I know it's for the Huskers, but Go Big Red. That's right. And so what about those guys? Did they influence your decision at all?
Yes. I mean, I think it's always fun to play against some big crowds, but I guess, I would say that too. The fans, a good support and stuff like that. So
well, and of women's sports, I mean, we saw, when they had that volleyball match out there on the football field, and everyone shows up for that, and it was the most, it was the biggest attended women's sporting event ever. And I mean, and we're talking, those are the fans that are going to be there to support the women's basketball as well, which you get to be a part of. So that's got to be exciting.
Yes, I know that there's all the fans in Lincoln, Nebraska, all support the University of Nebraska. So that's another reason why I chose that, or I chose Nebraska. So
I want to know your thoughts as this last year with the hype around Caitlin Clark in Iowa and just everything with women's college basketball has really just been elevated to a whole new level that we've never seen before. Are you excited that that's something you get to be kind of stepping into, is the height of women's basketball right now? You're going to be a part of that. Tell me about your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I guess just after this last year, seeing all these women's all these women's basketball teams, and how amazing they've been doing, I guess. They've been just I don't know, kind of inspired me. I'm I'm literally going to go play here, and I'm going to give all my all that I have and stuff. So I think it's awesome, and I feel like everyone's starting to watch women's basketball, which is good.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's awesome. And another thing I wanted to know, Nebraska obviously beat out some good schools. So who was your top 3? Who was it going into that decision that you were weighing between the 3 schools or 2 schools, or in Nebraska ultimately beat them out?
What were my top 3?
Yeah.
So my top 3 were, Nebraska was definitely one of them, and then Virginia Tech was definitely my second one. And then I think UNLV, and I'll say Clemson. Probably.
Wow.
Those were
okay. So all over the map a little bit.
Yes, and it was really hard saying no to these schools, because they're amazing schools, but I just knew that God wanted me to be in Nebraska, so that's kind of what I chose. So yeah.
Well, and I know, again, just from like one of your last social media posts was your visit with Virginia Tech, right? So that was one of the latest ones, right?
Yes.
Was that partially maybe why they were so high? Because it was a last edition.
Yeah, so I went on my official there, and I absolutely loved it. I was like, okay, Virginia Tech's probably going to be the place. And then we had an official scheduled for Nebraska, and I love Nebraska when I went with my dad on the unofficial, but we had an official visit scheduled for Nebraska, so we went there with my mom and brought my mom, and then we just were like, hey, this is the place. So those are my top two, definitely, and yeah, so Nebraska's it.
So tell me a little bit about the team dynamic. You said part of it was because of kind of the other women that are already there, right? How do you feel like you fit into their system and your play style?
I think so. Coach Amy likes to play like fast and stuff like that. So I think that's kind of how I like to play, and they like to put pressure on on defense a lot. And so that's kind of how I like to play, is like put pressure and like force turnovers. And so that's what their defense is mostly. So that's how I like to play. So I was like, hey, this is a good fit for me, and like this is my style of play. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. And so just a little look back at the season you had last year. You all guys ultimately followed the ridgeline in the state championship game, but you had an amazing season, and the memories you have with your teammates.
Yes.
Just summarize what it's like to be leaving and moving on from high school to college. I mean, it's a big transition for anybody. I remember when I left home, it was huge, and you leave a lot of your friends and your sisters, people you've been playing with forever. So what was last year like for you?
I thought last year was, it was so awesome. Like just like going to the state champion, or like the state tournament, and then going to the championship was so awesome. Like my teammates, we all had so much fun, and like we played so well together too. But I think it's gonna be hard transitioning into college, because I know that I'm gonna have to work my butt off to play and just like, do good. And if Nebraska really wants to win and stuff like that, I'm gonna have to work so hard. So, but it's gonna be a hard transition. But yeah, so
we know you're ready for it though. So
gonna work.
Yeah, and I mean, again, there's still good competition in 4A basketball for girls.
Definitely.
Ridgeline is always tough, right? And that's going to be one of those hurdles maybe in a tournament to come in the end of February. But in the meantime, what are you looking forward to in the next year? You still got your senior season of high school basketball left to go. What are you looking forward to in this one?
I'd say what I'm mostly looking forward to is my teammates and just building that really good chemistry for the state tournament. So I'm really focused right now. I'm focusing on winning state and stuff, because now that I'm already committed, I can focus on winning and like stuff like that. But I'm mostly excited building chemistry up for the state tournament and seeing what we can do. And yeah, right now I'm focusing on building my teammates up and stuff like that. So getting ready for that.
What do you do during the off season? Are you playing in any tournaments? Are you just kind of hitting up gyms around here and just focusing on more skill based stuff? What are you doing?
So the off season, I won't have AAU anymore. So I think I'll probably be training a lot, getting myself in shape, and just training a lot. I'd say working with my trainer and stuff like that. So
yeah. What's your go-to training? Is it more drills and stuff like that, or do you just like to just get out there and, hey, I just want to go shoot a ball real quick? Like what do you like to do?
I'd say I like to like game drills and stuff like that. I like to do game like drills. So like I like think of in my head like what like I'd be doing in a game, and then reading it off of that. So I'd say game like drills is what I like to.
Do you do it kind of like slow motion, where it's like, all right, in this scenario, what would I do? What are my options?
Yes.
And so that way, when you do get into that game time decision, it's just second nature, right?
I like to change my change my pace a little bit. So like I go hard and then like look around and just kind of, that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense.
So
for Coach Williams and next year's team, they obviously made the tournament last year. So are they looking to have another great year coming up, and most of their players back and everything like that?
Yes, they should be really, really good this year. Especially they have a lot of freshmen coming up, freshmen. So they'll be really, really good, and I'll be cheering for them. So yeah.
It makes this upcoming year just a little bit different, right? Because now you could be following Nebraska women's basketball. You're not a part of it yet, technically,
not
right?
Quite yet, yeah.
But you can follow it and maybe be like, all right, hey, this is where I might fit into the group and into some rotations. And and maybe kind of follow the play style and learn some of the plays just from watching. Does that make it a little different this upcoming year?
Yeah, so I'm really excited to watch them and just kind of see like where I would be playing and stuff like that. But I mean, I'll definitely be cheering for them, but I'm excited to see like how they do this year and see like what they're going to work on when I get there and stuff like that. So yeah.
It definitely was and again, looking back, they came into to the tournament as a 6th seed. So, that you have potentially that to look forward to as a player, being a part of the tournament, college basketball tournament, like that's always a big deal just to even be there. How does it feel knowing that you're a part of a team that has made it just even recently and has the potential to continue to do so? Is that exciting? Yes, I'm very excited. I'm also just really grateful to even have like an opportunity of being a Husker and like having like just like being at a great school and stuff like that. So I'm excited. So I'm really grateful, honestly. Yeah. And I mean, again, high preseason rankings already. So that they're a team that can get it done, and just knowing that you're going to be a part of that has to be really nice. So tell me about your day today. I mean, you made that announcement this morning. What has your day been like?
Yeah, it's got to be crazy. Like all the people reaching out to you and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I just woke up. My dad told me, my dad's like, hey, we're going to post this on Monday, July 1st. And I was like, okay, I need to get ready for that. I need to prepare myself for that. But so I just woke up, went to basketball practice or training, and then went back home. And my dad was like, hey, we're going to post it. So we posted it. And now the word's out. So now everyone knows I'm a Husker.
How long have you known that this was the school you're going to go to?
Okay. Ooh, that's a great question. I'd say for my first unofficial, I absolutely loved it. I was like, hey, this is definitely one of my tops. Like, this is amazing. And then we went there a second time with my mom for the official, and my mom was just like, yeah, this is the place for you. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm like, this is the place for me. So I probably...
When was that visit?
I'd say, oh my gosh, probably 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. So, and then I came home from that visit, and I was like, and then I just kind of did a lot of thinking to myself. I'm like, hey, this is where God wants me to be. So
yeah.
So once you commit, then AAU basketball is done. Like, you don't really play anymore?
You can't. Well, I honestly, you can still play, but like you're just.
But there's really no reason.
There's no reason to showcase anymore. You're not already committed. I get that. Yeah. Okay.
But I'll probably still play with my team and stuff like that. But I know what you guys mean.
Yeah. And I mean, there's more of a focus now where it's like, all right, it's less about being recruited because you don't need to worry about being recruited. That part's already done. And now it's like, look, you still got your senior season of high school basketball, which in itself is maybe another priority on that list. So there's focus that can go to other places now, right?
Yes. And like there's a huge weight lifted off my shoulder. Of, now I'm just focused on that school and just play for myself, Well,
now you can just enjoy your summer. Exactly. Your summer vacation is just going to be so much easier now. Less traveling to all these other colleges. You don't have to do that anymore.
Oh my gosh, I'm excited. So
so in making your decision, right, and in committing, do you got to make that phone call to the coach to be like, hey, I'm choosing you?
Yes.
What was that like?
That was really fun. So I got all of my family on my dad's and mom's side, and we all came to our house wearing red. So we're wearing red. We were all wearing red, and then so I told the assistant coaches that I was committing there, and they were like freaking out. And then, but I was like, keep it a secret from Coach Amy. Yeah. So I want her to be surprised. So anyway, so our whole family comes over, and then the assistant coaches told Coach Amy to hop on a Zoom call, and she didn't really know what it's for, and so she hopped on, and then she saw all of my family wearing red, and then she just started crying, and it was so awesome.
That's so sweet.
So and then I was like, hey, I'm committing, and then we all like were freaking out, and so it was a fun experience. So it was really cool.
That's awesome. It's cool to hear her reaction because that's a part of this whole commitment process that we don't always see. Usually you see the posts on social media where it's just we saw the graphic where it's you in the Nebraska jersey and it says that you're committed and all that, and that in itself is so cool, right? Yeah. But you don't get to see the phone call to be like, hey, I'm choosing you. Thank you for choosing me as well. Let's get to it. This is going to be an exciting time because, when you look at, we've been talking about the NBA draft and things like that recently. And that's when a team reaches out and chooses you. And you've had all these schools choosing you and saying, hey, we want you, we want you, we want you. This is like the one time as a basketball player outside of maybe like a free agency in a professional world where you're like, I get to make the decision.
Yeah.
I get to choose you.
You don't get that choice very often.
Yeah, as a player, you don't get those choices all the time. So that's got to be such a unique feeling and something really fun to just say, hey, I choose you. And to have that excitement on the other end is so cool.
Yeah, I was so excited to commit. And like, oh my gosh, I was like shaking. I was like, this is so awesome. I'm like, oh.
But it's awesome that they reciprocated that same energy, you know, that they were all about it. They were, that you said Coach Williams started crying. Like, it just shows that they really wanted you too. So it's just a match.
Yes,
so I think it's going to work out amazing.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Oh, well, we're excited for you, obviously. And I think all of Southern Utah is going to be on board. We're always excited. You know what? I do know plenty of people who, whether they follow the Flyers or the Thunder or whoever, it doesn't matter. As soon as somebody comes from Southern Utah and goes and does things beyond Southern Utah, it's like, all right, we're no longer on the opposing side. We can all be a fan. We can all sit back and support. So I do know that all of Southern Utah is still going to be behind you. So
thank you, guys.
maybe in high school basketball season they might not be so much. They might be competition, but the second that buzzer sounds and the final game's over, you know what? Then it's back to being team live.
Yes.
So we're excited for you. This is going to be a good time.
Oh yes, I'm excited. Whew, yes.
Weight off your shoulders.
Weight off my shoulder.
Just go in and enjoy your summer.
Yes.
And we'll of course, the training and stuff for sure, but we'll get back to it in December.
Yep. I'm excited for December of high school season. Yep.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Well, Liv, it's good to see you and best of luck in your in of course your time in Nebraska, but in this upcoming season with Snow Canyon. We'll probably see you, I'm sure, as we head into the season. We'll talk to you more then.
Yes, thank you guys so much. Go Huskers.
Go Huskers, indeed. Well, thanks again to Livy one more time for joining us on the show today. And thank you guys for listening in from the bleachers. You can subscribe to the podcast anywhere that you find your podcasts, and you can follow us online on social media @TheFanSN. And until next time, we'll see you.